stories about life before us. I think many of us would agree that to a lot of people meeting for the first time, we can all accept that he might come across as a little bit gruff and sometimes a bit intimidating. And to be honest, I think that was the same with us, how he was with us as well at the beginning. To give you an example, as children, Nim, Sham and I were given additional homework to what we were sent by school throughout our sort of, younger years, and we always really viewed it as some sort of unnecessary punishment. But actually, with hindsight, with time gives you perspective on these things, and you realise it's actually to our benefit, as I'd like to think we've all maybe found in what we've achieved, certainly in our adult life. You've all heard that he spent a lot of time working overseas, and I think it's important that everybody realises that that came sort of at a stage in his life where we were, his kids were settled. He got us through school and into university, and we all had our life or career paths mapped out. And I think only then did he really feel that it was right for him to embark upon these experiences, which I know he benefited hugely from, and as did the three of us, given us the opportunity to visit him in various parts of the world that he travelled to. But I think he certainly put our well-being and our lives ahead of any personal accolades that he could have achieved, achieving these later in life. It certainly was evident to the three of us in hindsight that it was really important to him to be around during our formative years, and now having young children of my own, I certainly hope that I can emulate that in my kids' sort of, later childhood. I want to talk a little bit now. I hope this will be a little bit more light-hearted, a bit about my last conversation with Dad. So it's come as great comfort to my mum and my brothers and I that I think I was the last person to speak to him before he died on the phone. To sort of set the scene, I was driving to work the Monday morning before that, and the coolant light came on in my car while I was driving. And me, the 36-year-old man married with 2 kids, didn't know what to do. So I pulled over and called Dad, because that's what I do. And he obviously told me you just need to fill it up with water, and I was like, okay, sounds simple. went on about my business, went to work. He called me, what I guess was 2 or 3 hours, 4 or 5 hours before he passed away. He texted me to say, have you checked the tank to see if the water has started to run down again, because you might need to seal it. And I was like, I sort of thought, I better phone to explain myself, and I phoned and said, Dad, I'm incapable of doing such things. And what was nice is that many of you may know he was actually supposed to be coming up with my mum for the bank holiday weekend to spend time with my boys and sort of look after the kids while Tyler and I had a weekend on the jolly, basically. But it was certainly comforting to us that, albeit the topic of conversation was not sentimental in any way, it was certainly very unsurprising conversation that I would have had with my dad. Many of you will know and see him in the same light. He was certainly a go-to guy for us and many of the people gathered here today. And I think that's a good tribute to the kind of person he was. I sort of want to finish by talking about the relationship with my boys, his grandchildren, and as Simon and Uncle explained, I think I really noticed that was a real pleasure in his life. Was looking after and spending time with my 2 boys, Hayden and Ellis. Talking to Nim and Sean after Dad's death, we all felt that our relationship, particularly as adults, had gotten so good with him. We really felt that it was as good as it could get. We all spoke with him several times a week. I obviously used to Skype or FaceTime with the children at least once a week with him. And he came to visit us in Bath at least every 5 or 6 weeks. I think I really couldn't have hoped. I think we all couldn't have hoped for a better relationship with him. He just seemed so happy around the kids, and you know, he was always, well, he and my mum, I should just say, he and my mum were always spoiling them. You know, I remember talking to him about what to get for my boys' birthdays, which are, you know, still several months away. You know, he was already thinking about that, how he can spoil them. He always used to bring chocolate for them, despite me and Natalia trying to prevent that. And I just feel he got to the stage in his life, he worked so hard, done all the difficult things in life, bringing up the three of us, looking after my mum, got to the stage where he was, you know, ready to retire, and this was really, for me, going to be the time that he just got to spend his time with his grandkids and play golf, basically. That was, I think, his two great pleasures in life. And perhaps the most heartbreaking thing for me is that is what has been taken from him, and taken from us as well. I'd like to sort of finish by talking about how we'll remember Dad. It's been absolutely wonderful hearing the tributes over, not just today, but over the past week, as people have visited the house, talking about my dad. Paul David, who I thought mentioned a very nice story. I don't know if he's here today, but he told us how he used to refer to my dad as the Daily Telegraph, based on his knowledge of current affairs and of all things happening in the oil and gas industry. And you know, we certainly mirror that sort of sentiment. On the 25th of August, we lost a beloved husband, father, and grandfather and friend. Who I would like to remember, I think we will all remember, as a no-nonsense man with an encyclopedic mind and a heart of gold. Thanks very much for that.